Yeah, good morning everyone. Good morning Ritika. Good morning Anshay. I hope everyone is able to hear me out. Everyone is able to hear me out. Yeah, just give me a thumbs up if the audio and visuals are clear. If the audio and visuals are clear, guys. Yeah. Kapil, good morning. Junaid, good morning. Rahul, good morning. Good morning. Just let me know if the audio and visuals are clear. Siddharth, good morning. Yeah, just give me a thumbs up that everything is fine as of now. Yeah, Kapil, okay, okay. Bhupinder, good morning. Okay, good morning, Rasab. Tanveer, good morning, good morning. I hope everything is clear as of now. Yeah, everything is clear as of now. Yeah, Gaurav, Krishna, very good. Just we'll wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll start with the class. I'll just wait for all the students to join. Lakshita, Kamal, Shailesh, Aditya, Geetu, very good morning, guys. Yeah, Ayush, good morning, good morning. I think everything is clear, I suppose. Yeah, all the video, all the audio, visuals are everything clear. So just wait for 2 more minutes and yeah, Biomed Funkies, good morning. The unique name you have, right? So yeah, I'll start within 2 minutes. Just I'm waiting for everyone to join. Yeah, Gayatri, good morning. Anmol, good morning. Neha, good morning, guys. I mean, I'm very happy that you all guys have joined today for the class. Yeah, Selesh, good. Yeah. So we'll start with the class ASAP. Yeah, knowledge maintain. Yeah, okay. Nidhi, good morning, guys. So yes, good morning, good morning, everyone. So yes, good morning. Hmm. Dinesh, good morning. Vidhi, good morning, guys, good morning. We'll just start within another 1 minute, okay? Yeah. आज network issues नहीं है. Everything is all clear today. So yeah, we'll start with the class. चल. I hope everyone has joined as of now. Yeah, everyone has joined as of now. Okay. Yes. Gaurav. Okay. Let's start with the class, that is the anatomy of the clavicle bone. And what are the topics that I'm going to cover in the anatomy section, guys, or in the osteology of the clavicle bone? The very first thing that I'm going to discuss in general about the clavicle bone. Okay. The type of the clavicle bone, whether it is a typical long bone or atypical long bone. So I'm just going to classify clavicle as typical or atypical. Kailash, good morning. Okay. Apart from that, guys, I am going to discuss the structure of the clavicle bone, the anatomical position of the clavicle bone, along with the side determination. Side determination to classify or to tell which clavicle it is, whether it is of right side or whether the clavicle it is of left side. So to differentiate between both the clavicles, okay, right and left side, how to differentiate which side it is. And I have already told you in my lectures, whenever you are explaining a particular bone to any particular examiner, you have to hold the bone of that particular side in that particular hand. अगर राइट साइड का क्लैविकल है तो राइट हैंड में ही उसे पकड़ना है, अगर लेफ्ट साइड का क्लैविकल है तो लेफ्ट हैंड में ही उसे पकड़कर उसको एक्सप्लेन करना है. सो इट इज द पार्ट ऑफ the body, whether it is of right side or left side, you have to hold that particular bone in that particular hand only and then explain. And how to differentiate whether it is of right side or left side, we will have certain points that will be helping us to distinguish between the right clavicle and the left clavicle. Yeah, apart from that guys, we are going to discuss the parts of the clavicle, okay, all the parts of the clavicle. And in that part, what are the muscles and the ligaments which are attached. Ultimately, I will be providing you certain mnemonics to make your muscle learning so easy, okay, like everything will be a piece of cake today, okay. Apart from that, we will learn whether these muscles are originating from that particular area or they are inserting to that particular area. Origin and insertion of muscles is also very important, and that too we will learn with the help of certain tricks today. After that, we will see the articulations of the clavicle bone or the joint formation of the clavicle bone today, okay, the joints which are actually formed by the clavicle. Apart from that, we will learn the importance of the clavicle or the functions of the clavicle. What role does clavicle play? Apart from that, we are going to see the peculiarities of the clavicle bone, and at last I will try to summarize the differences between the male and the female clavicle. What is the there are certain points of differences that we will try to learn. So this is in general how the lecture will be proceeded. I mean, from starting with the general points, type, structure, position, determination, parts, muscles, okay, joints, functions, peculiarities, basically the clinical anatomy that is included over here, okay, the clinical anatomy part that I will be also discussing with, okay, about the clavicle bone. So I hope everyone is ready as of now, and just give me a thumbs up in the chat box that everyone is ready, so that we can start in general about the clavicle now. So that we can start in general about the clavicle now. Yes. So I'm waiting for your thumbs up guys. Yeah, just let me know that everyone is ready as of now. Jogesh, Lakshita, very good guys. Yeah, very good guys. Ritika, very good. Nivedi, very good guys. I mean, I'm very happy that you guys are actually over here and listening out to my lectures. Kapil, Junaid, Geetu, very good. Deva, Selesh, Junaid, Neha, very good. Anshay, Aditya, very good. Very good guys. I mean, I'm very happy that you all are here and listening out to my lecture so early in the morning. Yeah, Tanveer, very good. Very good. K-Techno, unique name. Okay guys, let's start with the class. Yeah. Om Chaudhary, very good. Kanchandeep, okay. Now first we will discuss the general points, in general what we know about the clavicle, okay. The very first thing that you should know, that clavicle, it is also called as the collarbone, okay. It is also called as or known as the collarbone, or also called as the beauty bone of our body. It is also called as the beauty bone of our body. Yes, Razak, very good, very good. Yeah. Now guys, try to understand that this particular bone, basically it is a S-shaped bone, okay. It is a S-shaped bone. So write down the next point, that it is a S-shaped bone. It is a S-shaped bone. And one more point, that it is the anterior bone of the shoulder girdle. It is the anterior bone of the shoulder girdle. It is the anterior bone of the shoulder girdle. So you guys know that shoulder girdle, basically it is formed from the joining of the three bones, the scapula, the clavicle and the humerus. And remember that this particular bone, if I'm saying the anterior bone, मैंने क्लास में भी समझाया था जनरल एनाटॉमी में कि anterior का मतलब आगे की तरफ होता है. So that is the particular bone which is located at the root of your neck, and you can easily feel this bone. So ultimately it is forming the anterior bone of the shoulder girdle of your pectoral region, that is the shoulder girdle. Okay, so that is in general we should know about the clavicle. It is known as the collarbone, beauty bone, S-shaped bone, and it is the anterior bone of the shoulder girdle. Okay, apart from that guys, now let's start with the type. See, clavicle is basically atypical long bone. Okay, it is only, I will say only, atypical long bone. Atypical long bone. Now why I say it as atypical long bone? So you all know that according to your knowledge about the general bone architecture, that all the long bones are basically containing the medullary cavity, but remember, clavicle, it is the only long bone, okay, that does not contain any medullary cavity. No medullary cavity it is there in the clavicle bone. That's why it is termed as atypical. Apart from that, there is one also an important point, that it develops by membranous ossification. It develops by membranous ossification. अब पूछोगे सर ऑसिफिकेशन क्या होता है? ऑसिफिकेशन बेसिकली मीन्स द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ बोन. तो ये क्लैविकल जो है, दिस क्लैविकल इज बेसिकली फॉर्म्ड बाय द मेम्ब्रेन्स. ओके, इट इज फॉर्म्ड बाय द मेम्ब्रेन्स, whereas all the long bones except clavicle, all long bones except clavicle, basically they are formed by enchondral ossification. They are formed by enchondral ossification, and you guys know that कि enchondral basically means from the cartilage. Cartilage से सारी bones बनती हैं long bones, but clavicle is the only long bone which does not form by this particular method, that is the enchondral ossification. Okay, it is developed from the membranes. Now my question is, can anyone in the chat box tell me which cartilage is responsible for the formation of all the long bones except clavicle? The name of the cartilage that I wanted to know from you guys. I'm waiting for your answers guys. I want each and everyone to answer if they know which cartilage is responsible for the formations of bone. Not all the cartilage, only there is one cartilage which is responsible for the formation of this particular like all the long bones. Kanchandeep says hyaline cartilage. Okay, Junaid, very good Kanchandeep, very good Junaid. I mean yeah, Deva Nivedi, very good. Sakib, very good. It's the hyaline cartilage guys. Okay, which cartilage is responsible? It is the hyaline cartilage guys, that is particularly responsible for the formation of all long bones. Now if I say that this long bone, the clavicle, it is also a long bone, but it is not developing from any cartilage, it is developing from membranes, and that's why it is the membranous ossification which is responsible for its development. And that's why, because of its like there is no medullary cavity and it develops by membranous ossification, I call it as atypical long bone. That is very important. It is the atypical long bone. whereas all the long bones are typical long bones. Why? Because they are all containing the medullary cavity and they are developed by enchondral ossification. So that is the difference how we actually categorize as typical and atypical long bones. Yes, so I hope everything is clear. Yeah, everything is clear, I suppose. So just let me know. Yeah, everyone is participating. Yeah, Jogesh, knowledge, plan, maintain. Yeah, so Fel, Lakshita, Selesh, Neha, very good, guys. I'm quite impressed that you all are there. Yeah. Yeah. Now, guys, coming on to the structure, and remember that this particular clavicle, it is formed of spongy bone, spongy bone covered by a layer of compact bone, covered by a layer of compact bone. Okay, just due to the structural differences, the morphological differences, we have two types of bones. Okay, the spongy bone and the compact bone. And remember, the whole clavicle, it is basically composed of the spongy bone. Okay, and in turn it is layered, or it is covered by the compact bone. Apart from that, guys, coming on to the next part, that is the anatomical position. And you know that clavicle is the only long horizontal bone. All the long bones are vertical, but clavicle is the long horizontal bone. So remember that it lies horizontally. It lies horizontally at the root of the neck. Yeah. Yes, everyone, very good, guys. You all are participating. Usma, very good. Sakib, Bhupender, Gayatri, Shoaib, very good, guys. So remember that it lies horizontally at the root of the neck, guys. You can very well appreciate that at the root of the neck, बिल्कुल गर्दन के just नीचे, that is the root of the neck where you can feel the clavicle. And remember, almost all its part, most of the parts of the clavicle, it can be felt subcutaneously, You all know that subcutaneously basically means under the skin. Cutaneous का मतलब क्या होता है? Skin. और sub का मतलब उसके नीचे. So it is basically under the skin. This bone is lying just under the skin, and you can feel the whole clavicle bone. You can feel the whole clavicle bone just under the skin. So it is the only long bone which lies horizontally. So one more point that you can add in the anatomical position, that it is the only long bone which lies horizontally. Yeah. So only long bone which lies horizontally. Yes, all of you are right. Yeah. So apart from that, guys, we will now talk about the site determination, and it is the most important part, how to distinguish between the right clavicle, and apart from that, how to distinguish between it from the left clavicle, how to differentiate. So now, guys, I wanted to tell you कि remember, see the medial end. So you know, if it's in a normal anatomical position, normal anatomical position. So tell me, guys, कि इसमें which one will be the medial side and which one will be the lateral side. I'm waiting for your answers, guys. If it is a normal anatomical position that is displayed on the screen, which one will be the medial side, or which one will be the lateral side, or which one will be the medial end, or which one will be the Medial end. Yeah, I'm waiting for your, yeah, Poonam, welcome. Yeah, welcome, and try to answer my question, guys. If it is in a normal anatomical position. Yeah, I'm waiting for your answers. Yeah, very good. Very good, guys. Yeah. Lakshita, A medial, Rasab medial, Sakib, A, B is lateral. Very good. Very good, guys. I mean, perfect. Perfect, guys. If it is a normal anatomical position, A will be the medial end. Okay. The medial end. And B will be the lateral end of the clavicle. B will be the lateral end of the clavicle. And now if I just wanted to show you in this particular image, you can very well appreciate that this is the midline of the body. This is the midline of the body. Okay, midline of the body. And you can see कि this particular end, it is coming towards the midline, and this end is actually away from the midline. So this end will become the lateral end. This end will become the lateral end. Yeah, everyone is right. Sanvi, Neha, Junaid, Tufail, Selesh. Very good. So everyone is right. So, and this end will actually become the medial end. Now guys, can anyone tell me कि which clavicle is this which is shown? It is right or left? It is very easier to answer because you can see directly in the image. So yeah, just let me know कि which, yeah, this clavicle which is displayed, you can see from it the normal anatomical position. Yeah. Yes, Sunil, Shoaib, it's right. Yes, it is the left clavicle. Yes, Junaid, very good. Lakshita, good. Sanvi, very good. Good, guys. It is the left clavicle, guys. You can easily see from the picture. But what if I don't give you the background of this picture? I simply give you the clavicle bone, and you have to determine how to like see, distinguish whether it is right or left. So we'll learn some points now. We'll learn Usma, Vidhi, Ritika, very good. Anmol, very good. Yeah, very good. Now guys, try to understand the parts, that what are the points of differences. See, if we talk about this medial end, the medial end over here, it is rounded. The medial end over here, it is rounded. Yeah, everyone is round, right? The medial end is basically the rounded part. Okay, and you can see that we have divided the clavicle into two parts. Okay, the medial 2/3 of the shaft, medial 2/3 of the shaft, क्योंकि बॉडी के बिल्कुल मिडलाइन के पास है. Apart from that, we have lateral 1/3 shaft, lateral 1/3 shaft, lateral 1/3 shaft. Remember that medial 2/3 part में दो शाफ्ट पार्ट है. शाफ्ट देखो, एक बोन के तीन पार्ट्स होते हैं ना, एक बोन के तीन पार्ट्स होते हैं. ओके, अपर एंड, द अपर एंड, ओके, द लोअर एंड, the lower end, and ultimately the between part, that is called as the shaft. The shaft is just the body of the bone. Okay, so you can see that the medial 2/3 वाला जो part है, it is the shaft part, it is convex forwards. It is convex forwards. आगे की तरफ ये convex जैसा है, आगे की तरफ ये convex जैसा है, और पीछे की तरफ it is like a concave part. Okay, apart from that, you can see that medial 2/3 part is in the form of a cylinder. It is in the form of a cylinder. So one more point that you can mention over here, that the medial 2/3 shaft is basically cylindrical in shape. It is cylindrical in shape. It is cylindrical in shape. medial two-third shaft that is cylindrical in shape, guys. Apart from that, the medial end. Okay, now coming on to the lateral end. The lateral end, remember the lateral end, it is actually flattened. It is flat. So yes, it is flattened. Apart from that, you have to remember that the lateral one-third of the shaft is convex backwards. Okay, it is convex backwards. So lateral one-third of the shaft, it is convex backwards. Yeah. सो मीडियल टू थर्ड पार्ट का जो शाफ्ट है, देखो वो आगे की तरफ कॉन्वेक्स है, पीछे की तरफ इट इज कनकेव, आगे एंटीरियरली, दैट इज द सुपीरियर व्यू विच यू आर एबल टू सी राइट नाउ. ओके, सो अल्टीमेटली जो लेटरल एंड का जो शाफ्ट है, अगर सिर्फ लेटरल एंड की शाफ्ट की बात करूं तो ये पीछे की तरफ कॉन्वेक्स है. ओके, ये पीछे की तरफ कॉन्वेक्स है और लेटरल एंड जो शाफ्ट का है वो फ्लैट है. ठीक है, एंड तो फ्लैट है ही, इवन द सरफेस इज ऑल्सो फ्लैट, इवन द सरफेस इज ऑल्सो फ्लैट. ओके, so that is like you can distinguish the medial and the lateral ends by the help of these particular points. Apart from that, guys, try to remember that suppose this is the clavicle bone and this is the normal anatomical position. Now I am going to show you the inferior view of the clavicle. The inferior surface is basically carrying a groove, okay, that is called as the subclavian groove. बच्चे नाम से ही ध्यान रखो, क्लेवियन का मतलब हो गया क्लैविकल और सब का मतलब हो गया क्लैविकल के जस्ट नीचे. अभी जैसे हमने सबक्यूटेनियस पढ़ा, तो वो अंडर द स्किन था, और सब क्लेवियन की बात कर रहे हैं तो अंडर द क्लैविकल होगा. ओके, एंड रिमेंबर कि इंफीरियर सरफेस पे आपको देखने को मिलता है, इंफीरियर सरफेस पे आपको ये देखने को मिलेगा. एंड यू कैन सी ओवर हियर, दिस इज द इंफीरियर व्यू दैट आई एम शोइंग यू ओवर हियर, और ये बिल्कुल मिड में देखने को मिलता है, दैट इज द इंफीरियर व्यू गाइस. एंड यू कैन इजिली व्यू कि बिल्कुल बीच में, दैट इज इन द मिडल ऑफ द शाफ्ट, you will be able to see the subclavian groove. And remember, यहाँ पर एक मसल अटैच होती है, and that is like it was a question that has been asked in the FMGE exam कि which muscle is attached over here, that is the subclavius muscle. And remember that groove is basically rough in nature. It is rough. When you will touch, it is very kind of a rough surface. Okay, that is very kind like type of a rough surface. So I hope that you are now well aware of the side determination, and along with that, guys, try to remember that in the inferior surface on the lateral side, okay, inferior surface on the lateral side, we have two things that are present. One is basically the tubercle, that is called as the conoid tubercle, that will be actually present on the inferior part. Okay, and on the lateral side, okay, that is the lateral side, you already know, and that is the medial side, तो लेटरल साइड पर एक ट्यूबरकल देखने को मिलता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द कोनॉइड ट्यूबरकल, एंड अलोंग विद द लाइन दैट इज प्रेजेंट ओवर हियर, और उस लाइन को हम लोग बोलते हैं दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द ट्रेपीजॉइड रिज. So these two structures we will also discuss when we will discuss the parts of the clavicle, but for site determination just remember कि सर क्लैविकल के इंफीरियर सरफेस में हम लोग देखने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो लेटरल साइड पर हमें एक ट्यूबरकल देखने को मिलता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द कोनॉइड ट्यूबरकल, एंड अलोंग विद द कोनॉइड ट्यूबरकल देयर इज अ लाइन दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द ट्रेपीजॉइड रिज, दैट इज ओनली प्रेजेंट ऑन द लेटरल इंफीरियर सरफेस ऑफ द क्लैविकल. और क्लैविकल के इंफीरियर सरफेस यानी कि बीचों बीच आपको एक ग्रूव देखने को मिलता है, दैट इज द सबक्लेवियन ग्रूव, which is actually the point of insertion of the subclavius muscle. So that is in short about the site determination. How you have to determine whether the clavicle it is of right or left side by keeping all the points that I have discussed in detail. So I hope everything is clear as of now. So just give me a thumbs up, guys, that you all are now ready for the different parts of the clavicle. For the different parts of the clavicle. Yeah. So just let me know you all are ready. Yes. Lakshita, Junaid, Ritika, very good. Very good, guys. I mean, I'm quite impressed. Salesh, Neha, very good. Very good, guys. Gayatri, Dev, very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. I want everyone to participate, guys, even answering me, because it's a live session. So interaction, just because of interaction and your doubts, your everything, it can only be cleared in the live sessions, guys. Yeah, crystal clear. Okay, guys. Sanvi, good, Bach. Very good, Janet. Very good. Now let us start with the parts of the clavicle, guys. So remember, the clavicle, it is divided into three parts. The clavicle is divided into three parts, and now we will try to learn all the three parts in detail, guys, in detail. So you know that the clavicle has a medial end. You can very well see over here, that is the medial end of the clavicle, and medial end is attached to which particular bone? My question is, medial end is attached to one bone that I have shown you in the starting. Can anyone tell me the name of that bone? I'm waiting for your answers, guys. I already have shown you in the starting, but if you have actually if you saw it very clearly or attentively, you might be able to guess the name of the bone. So just let me know that which bone is basically there. Yeah, I'm waiting for your answers, guys. The medial end. ना फर्स्ट चलो ठीक है okay, दोनों ही points correct है, but more it is attached to which particular bone right now. I'm not talking about the cartilage, तो फिर yeah, manubrium, it is right. Yes, it is the sternum. Yeah, manubrium sternum. It is the manubrium sternum, that is basically the medial end is attached to. Nidhi, very good. Guys, remember that this particular end is basically attached to a bone that is called as the manubrium sternum. That's why the medial end, it is also called as the sternal end of the clavicle. It is also called as the sternal end of the clavicle. Yes, that is called as the sternal end of the clavicle. And coming on to the lateral end, so lateral end, you can see that this one is basically the lateral end of the clavicle, and this is basically attached to a bone of the scapula, a part of the scapula, that is called as the acromion process. So that is why it is also called as the acromial end of the clavicle. It is also called as the acromial end of the clavicle. It is also called as the acromial end of the clavicle. And we'll just try to see in our first picture that you all have to be very clear of right now. Yeah, just try to see कि clavicle, okay, just try to see over here. We have the two ends. You can very well appreciate. I'll just change the ink color. Yeah, I'll just take it blue. You can see it is the medial end, it is the lateral end. It is the medial end and it is the lateral end. Why it is the medial? Because it is coming towards the midline of the body. and this is the bone that is called as the manubrium sternum. This is called as the manubrium sternum, and clavicle medial end is basically attached to this particular bone. It is attached to this particular bone. You can easily appreciate in the picture. That is why the medial end, it is also called as the sternal end. It is called as the sternal end, guys. Apart from that, you can very well appreciate over here कि that is our scapula, और scapula का ही एक part होता है that is called as the acromion process. That is called as the acromion process. And remember, the lateral end is attached to the acromion process. That is why the lateral end, it is also called as the acromial end. It is also called as the acromial end, guys. So I hope both the ends are clear why sternal end and acromial end is important. Okay, so ultimately we have the scapula. या स्कैपुला का ही एक प्रोसेस होता है जिसको हम लोग एक्रोमियन प्रोसेस बोलते हैं. दैट वी विल डिस्कस व्हेन वी विल डिस्कस द ऑस्टियोलॉजी ऑफ द स्कैपुला. बट रिमेंबर द फैक्ट कि lateral end is also known as the acromial end because it articulates with the acromion process of the scapula. So I hope both the ends are clear as of now. Both the ends are clear as of now. And now remember, guys, that the medial end is basically large, rounded in shape. Ritika, good. Ritika, it's clear to you? Okay. Rest, I suppose everyone is clear, got the concepts very clear in your mind. Why acromial, why sternal ends are there? Okay. Medial, lateral, the two parts that I have mentioned on the screen. Yeah. It is large, and remember, it is rounded in shape. It is rounded in shape. Okay. And remember that basically it presents a smooth facet. It presents, yeah, very good, Junaid, Neha, Usma. I actually want everyone to answer in the chat box that every one of you understood the concepts up till now. All the anatomical position, determination, the type, the general points, everything is clear. Okay, very good, Dev. Very good. It is large, rounded in shape, and remember, it presents a smooth facet. It presents a smooth facet for articulation with the clavicular facet of the manubrium sternum. Yes, very good. Manubrium sternum. So guys, remember that दोनों ही surface पर facet देखने को मिलता है. Okay, these are both bones. Here it is the clavicle. You know it is the clavicle. Clavicle का medial end. Okay, that is the sternal end. It is actually joining with the sternum. तो sternum पर भी आपको clavicular facet देखने को मिलेगा, and these two bones are joined together. These two bones are joined together, and that's why it results in the formation of a joint. Can anyone tell me the name of this particular joint? I'm waiting for the answers. Can anyone tell me the name of this particular joint? It is very easier to create a name. You know the names of the two bones, the clavicle and the sternum. So basically the medial end of the clavicle is joining with the sternal end. Okay, they both have the facet for joining. Okay, so ultimately, yeah, very good guys. Can anyone tell me the name of the joint? I'm waiting for your answers. Yeah, sternoclavicular joint. Yes, very good. Sternoclavicular joint. Yes. Sternoclavicular joint. sternoclavicular joint. Very good. Junaid, तो फिर calcosternal joint नहीं होगा, it calico नहीं होगा यार. It will be sternoclavicular joint. Okay, sternoclavicular joint. Very good, guys. So the name of the joint over here, it will be the sternoclavicular joint. Now coming on to a very important part that one boy answered कि सर यहाँ पे तो first strip के साथ भी connection होता है. तो remember the inferior surface of the medial end, the inferior surface of the medial end, basically it articulates with the first costal cartilage. Now costal cartilage is basically the ribs. You can very well appreciate that I'm going to show you the picture that you can easily see over here, guys, that this end, the medial end, okay, the medial end is basically articulating with the first this is the first costal cartilage. This is the first costal cartilage, and you can see that the medial end is basically articulating with the costal cartilage also. So two joints are formed, one between the clavicle and the sternum and one between the clavicle and the costal cartilage, that is the ribs. That is the ribs. You can see the ribs over here. So can anyone tell me कि sir what will be the name of this particular joint? Okay, what will be the name of this particular joint? Can anyone tell me? It is articulating with the costal cartilage and the name of that joint will be okay, just waiting for your answers. Already I have given you the hint. No answers as of. Okay, so I'll just take the name. Yeah, now I got साकिब रितिका. थोड़ा सा लैग हो जाता है. हाँ ठीक है. कैलाश. Okay, कैलाश. Very good guys. Vidhi, very good. Vidhi didn't answer. It was the previous question, I suppose. Yeah. नहीं, साकिब previous question. ठीक है. Okay, it is the costoclavicular joint. Costoclavicular joint. So try to remember the fact that the medial end is basically articulating with the first costal cartilage and the inferior surface of the medial end, and that is the costoclavicular joint, and whole of the medial end is basically articulating with the sternum. That is, we have already discussed about the medial end. Now we shall talk about the lateral end, and remember the lateral end basically it is flattened. The lateral end it is flat and carries an oval facet for articulation with acromion process of the scapula, and which joint it will be forming? The acromioclavicular joint. It is forming the acromioclavicular joint, and acromion is the part of the scapula. It's the process of the scapula. Okay, so that is about the two parts of the clavicle, and the third, that is the most important part, and you should remember it is the shaft of the clavicle. it is the shaft of the clavicle, and that too we will discuss in the next slide in detail. So now starting with the shaft of the clavicle. So we'll make a flow chart over here so that it's easier for you guys to remember the shaft of the clavicle, how to learn, sir. So you all know that the shaft of the clavicle, it is further divided into two parts. It is further divided into two parts. The 2/3 part is basically the medial. The 2/3 part is the medial, and it contains four surfaces. Medial, and remember it is the cylindrical part. It is the cylindrical part, and it contains four surfaces. Apart from that, guys, try to remember that the 1/3 part, the 1/3 part is basically the lateral surface, and it is a flat surface. Okay, the lateral 1/3 is the lateral part of the clavicle, that is the flat one, and it contains two borders and two surfaces. Two surfaces. Now coming on to the medial part, and you all know that suppose this is the clavicle and this is the medial part. This is the clavicle and this is the medial part, okay, and this medial is basically the 2/3 part, and it will contain four surfaces. एक सिलेंडर के चार surfaces आपको याद रखने हैं. Now what are the name of these surfaces? You guys should remember it is the superior surface, the inferior surface, anterior surface, and the posterior surface. So we have the superior, inferior, anterior surface and the posterior surface. So we have the four surfaces. Now suppose this is a 2/3 medial part, and what are the four surfaces that you guys can see? The above, that is the superior surface, the below, that is the inferior surface, the surface that is coming in front, that is the anterior surface, and the surface which is coming like towards the back, it is the posterior surface. Okay, so it has four surfaces: superior ऊपर वाला, नीचे वाला inferior, आगे वाला anterior और पीछे वाला posterior. So that is the medial 2/3 part. Apart from that, guys, try to remember the 1/3, that is the lateral part. In the lateral part, basically it is flat, and whatever the thing it is flat, it will have only two borders and two surface. Border और surface में फर्क क्या होता है? The main ideology, like the main difference between both the things is that surface का जो area होता है, that is comparatively larger as compared to the border. Now, if suppose this is the area, okay, this is a box that I have taken, so that particular box, this particular area will be the surface and this particular area will be the border. Border का surface area कम होता है as compared to the surface, okay, as compared to the surface. ये surface ज़्यादा है तो that will be the surface, और border में area कम होता है, surface area is very less, that's why it is border. Okay, so the two borders that you guys have to remember, that it is anterior border, yes Lakshita, anterior border, and we have posterior border, guys. We have posterior border. Apart from that, the two surfaces that you all know, that it is the superior surface, and along with that we have the inferior surface. You can appreciate it's a flat structure. Suppose this is the lateral part, the lateral वन थर्ड. ओके, सो ऊपर वाला का एरिया ज़्यादा है, इट विल बी द सुपीरियर सरफेस. नीचे वाले का एरिया ज़्यादा है, दैट विल बी द इंफीरियर सरफेस. आगे वाले में एरिया कम है. ओके, सो दैट विल बी द बॉर्डर, एंटीरियर बॉर्डर. और पीछे की तरफ भी एरिया कम है, दैट विल बी द पोस्टीरियर बॉर्डर. ओके, सो अगर ये सुपीरियर व्यू देख रहे हो आप क्लैविकल का, तो ये सुपीरियर सरफेस हो गया, सुपीरियर सरफेस. आगे की तरफ एंटीरियर बॉर्डर, पीछे की तरफ इंफीरियर बॉर्डर, सॉरी पोस्टीरियर बॉर्डर. और नीचे की तरफ क्या हो जाएगा, जस्ट डाउन टू इट, इट विल बी द इंफीरियर सरफेस. ओके, so two surface, two borders of the 1/3 lateral shaft, of the 1/3 lateral shaft. So just give me a thumbs up guys that all of you are along with me and everyone understood the basic concept behind this. So I'm just waiting for your answers, that all of you understood the shaft region very well, कि हाँ सर शाफ्ट समझ में आ गया. नाउ विल ट्राई टू डिस्कस द मसल अटैचमेंट्स नाउ. रितिका सेज यस. उस्मा, लक्षिता, नाहिद, जुनैद, देव, कैलाश, निधि, very good guys. I mean, I am quite happy that you all guys are participating and answering the questions as well. You all guys are participating and answering the questions as well. Yes, very good guys. Perfect. Dev, Kailash, Nidhi, Sanvi, Neha, very good guys. Sure. Now let's discuss. We have already discussed the parts of the clavicle, the lateral end, the medial end, and the shaft of the clavicle. Okay, now apart from that guys, we have to understand okay, the parts is already done. Yeah, even now guys, let me ask you a question, ki which particular joint is this, the name of the joint, can anyone tell me? And it is, let us mark it as A and let us mark it as B. So now tell me ki which two joints are shown in the picture. Just revising the concept that we already have discussed. This is the image based question for you all, and let's have the answer guys. Arman, very good. Aman, very good. Sunil, very good. So yeah, just answer me what name of the joint. Not asking the type of the joint, Junaid, right now. We're not discussing joints. Yeah, just the name of the joint. The types of the joint we'll discuss later. Yeah. Sternoclavicular joint A. The very first one you can see, it is the sternum part. It is the sternum part. Yes. And it is the clavicle, the medial end of the clavicle. And you can see that the medial end is basically attaching to the sternum. So it is the sternoclavicular joint. Sternoclavicular joint. And the B is basically the clavicle you can see over here, and the acromion process of the scapula. Acromion process of the scapula. And the joint that is formed over here, it is the acromioclavicular joint. Acromioclavicular joint. Yes. So that is, yeah, everyone is right. Everyone is right. Okay. Now put the heading as the muscles and the ligaments attachment. Now put the heading as the muscles and the ligament attachments. And now we will try to discuss the muscles and the ligaments which are attached. Okay. So, yes. Now guys, you already know that we have two parts of the clavicle. We have two parts of the shaft of the clavicle. Okay, parts of the shaft. You know that it is divided into 2/3. That is the medial, and 1/3 is basically the lateral one. 1/3 it is the lateral one. So remember the parts of the shaft, that is the 2/3 medial, that is also known, okay, that is the 2/3 medial shaft, okay, and 1/3, that is the lateral shaft, okay. So remember the 2/3 medial has four surfaces, anterior, posterior, superior and inferior. Anterior, posterior, superior, inferior. Now guys remember that कि anterior surface, okay, this is the anterior surface, anterior surface पे एक muscle attach होती है, that is called as the pectoralis major muscle. It is called as the pectoralis major muscle. It is called as the pectoralis major muscle, and you can see that this particular area, okay, that is the anterior one, that is the superior view that you are watching over here, and this particular muscle, okay, that is the superior view, okay, that is the superior view आगे की तरफ, एंड ये देख रहे हो बिल्कुल आगे की तरफ आ रहा है, that is on the anterior surface, and this is the inferior view that you are watching in the second picture, and in the inferior view you can very well appreciate it is the pectoralis major only, okay, it is the pectoralis major only, and that is basically on the anterior surface, okay, that is on the anterior surface. Coming on to the superior surface guys, coming on to the superior surface, you can very well appreciate कि ये वाला जो muscle है, so that is on the superior surface, and remember the name of this muscle, it is sternocleidomastoid muscle, sternocleidomastoid muscle. It is pectoralis major muscle, पूरा लिखना नहीं तो you guys will get confused. And on the superior surface you can very well appreciate it is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Be very particular about the spellings guys. Sternocleidomastoid muscle, sternocleidomastoid muscle, hyoid muscle, sternohyoid muscle. I don't have space, that's why I'm writing like above and down, so you have to write it in one single line. Sternohyoid muscle, sternohyoid muscle, okay, so that is the sternohyoid muscle, okay. Okay, yeah, I hope now it is fine. I hope now it is fine guys. Just give me a thumbs up that all the audio and visuals are clear right now. All the audio visuals are clear right now. Yeah, all the audio and visuals are clear. Just give me a thumbs up that everyone understood the points till here and all the audio visuals are clear. Now, yes Lakshita, now it should be clear because I have just changed the network settings. Yeah, Nahid, Sanvi, very good. Neha, very good, very good, very good Neha. I hope it's now clear. Yes, Junaid, Gayatri, very good. So yeah, it was connected to a different network as of. Okay, anyways. anyways, we'll just continue with the lecture, and I hope you all are participating, and that's very good as of now to hear that. Yeah. Rajput, yes, Rahul, Rahul, okay. Rasab, Usma, very good guys. So yeah, so we have the sternohyoid muscle that is located on the posterior surface, guys. Apart from that guys, on the inferior surface पे, that is a ligament is attached, and remember that is the costoclavicular ligament. Okay, that is the costoclavicular ligament, and you can very well appreciate कि costoclavicular ligament is actually, okay, I'll just use a different ink color over here. Yeah, so this is the costoclavicular ligament. It contains a ligament on the inferior surface, that is the costo, देखो medial end के just पास ही होता है, so it is all the medial end along with the inferior surface that is attached to the first costal rib. Okay, that is why the costoclavicular ligament, that is helping in the joint formation. Okay, that is helping in the joint formation. And remember, it is the costoclavicular ligament that is attached on the inferior surface. मसल नहीं है, ligament है. 3 मसल और 1 ligament. तो अपने हाथ को यूज करिए और फटाफट से मसल्स के नाम. सुपीरियर सरफेस पे मसल अटैच्ड होती है, दैट इज द स्टर्नोक्लीटोमेस्टॉइड मसल. इंफीरियर सरफेस पे मसल अटैच्ड होती है, दैट इज नॉट मसल, इट इज अ लिगामेंट, कॉस्टोक्लैविकुलर लिगामेंट. एंटीरियर सरफेस पे मसल अटैच्ड होती है, दैट इज द पेक्टोरालिस मेजर. एंड पोस्टीरियर सरफेस पे मसल अटैच्ड होगी, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द स्टर्नोहायोइड मसल. सो दैट इज इन नटशेल अबाउट द डिफरेंट मसल्स. 3 नाम आपको याद करने हैं मसल के और 1 लिगामेंट का. तो दैट्स डन विद द मसल्स ऑफ द मीडियल पार्ट. That's done with the muscles of the medial part. And remember guys, now we are going to deal with the lateral 1/3. So first we'll make a flow chart over here. I don't have space there, so 1/3, that is the lateral part. Sternohyoid picture में अभी नहीं है because I only have the superior and the inferior view, but try to imagine it is on the posterior side, posterior surface. देखो ये अगर सपोज दिस इज द मीडियल 2/3 ऑफ द क्लेविकल, तो सुपीरियर ऊपर हो गया, इंफीरियर नीचे हो गया. ठीक है, आगे की तरफ पोस्टीरियर है और पीछे की तरफ जस्ट लाइक बैक साइड ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर इमेज you will get the sternohyoid muscle. Okay, you will get the sternohyoid muscle. Okay, so I hope Neha it's clear as of now. Yeah, I hope Neha it's clear. Yeah, just give me a thumbs up that you are done with it. Okay, I'll just see if I'll have some image over here. I'll just try to show you that also later. Okay, okay Neha, very good Neha. So 1/3, that is the lateral side, that is the lateral side, that is the lateral 1/3 shaft. And remember, yeah, we are going to distinguish it, like I've divided into 2 major parts. You know, we have 2 surfaces and we have 2 borders. 2 borders. सरफेस तो कौन कौन से हैं जिसका एरिया ज़्यादा है, दैट इज द सुपीरियर, फ्लैट है ना, लेटरल वन इज द फ्लैट पार्ट. सो एक तो सुपीरियर, अगर सुपीरियर व्यू में देख रहे हैं, और एक इसके नीचे, और बॉर्डर हो जाएगा एक एंटीरियर बॉर्डर और एक हो जाएगा पोस्टीरियर बॉर्डर. और ये सुपीरियर सरफेस और इसके नीचे जस्ट क्या हो जाएगा, इंफीरियर सरफेस. So we have superior surface and we have the inferior surface guys. We have the inferior surface guys. So remember, superior surface पर कोई attachment नहीं होती है. No attachment. Write down. No attachment on the superior surface 1/3 lateral shaft का superior surface. There is no attachment. There is no attachment. Inferior surface पे guys, try to, okay, inferior surface we have basically 2 things that you have to remember in mind. कि inferior surface पे हमने 2 structures पढ़े थे. You already know the name, that is the conoid tubercle. Okay, and we have one structure that is called as the trapezoid ridge. Remember, conoid tubercle, okay, a small projection of the bone, rounded projection of the bone. So it is basically carrying conoid ligament, and trapezoid ridge is basically carrying the trapezoid ligament. and together I call it as the clavicular ligament, and together I call it as the clavicular ligament. Okay, clavicular ligament. And more precisely, it actually joins with the coracoid process. Okay, so coracoid process also joins these ligaments. So in nutshell, I can just call it as the coracoclavicular ligament. Coracoid process is a process of the scapular bone. Okay, तीन प्रोसेस होते हैं ना, एक्रोमियन, और उसमें एक होता है कोराकॉइड प्रोसेस, स्पाइनस प्रोसेस भी होता है, एक्रोमियन भी होता है, और वन इज द कोराकॉइड प्रोसेस. कोराकॉइड प्रोसेस से भी एक लिगामेंट निकलता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द coracoid ligament, and coracoid ligament basically joins these two ligaments. That's why in nutshell I call it as the coracoclavicular ligament, the two ligaments of the clavicle and one ligament of the coracoid. So that is why hence by the name coracoclavicular ligament. Apart from that, guys, try to remember we have two borders over here. We have two borders, and remember the two borders are basically the anterior border. The two borders are basically the anterior border, and one it is the posterior border. One it is the posterior border. And remember, in the anterior border, basically the attachment is of deltoid muscle. Anterior border, the attachment is of deltoid muscle, and in the posterior border we have attachment of trapezius muscle. We have attachment of trapezius muscle. So in the anterior border we have attachment of the deltoid muscle, and on the posterior border we have attachment of the trapezius muscle. Now guys, questions for you all. Okay, this is the inferior view, guys. This is the inferior view. Now tell me which border will be this and which border it will be this. Okay, now I want the answers A and B. Waiting for your answers, guys. Inferior view you are actually visualizing right now, and just let me know which view, which border is this, the A. Prakshit, it's good. I'm just asking the border right now over here. कि inferior view अगर आप देख रहे हैं clavicle, you're just seeing the clavicle is like this, and now you are visualizing the inferior view, and in the inferior view you can easily differentiate the medial and the lateral ends. And now guys, tell me कि which is the muscle. Yeah, very good. That was the catch I wanted you guys to be very perfect with. Yes, A is the anterior and P is the posterior. Very good everyone. Junaid, very good. Neha, Ritika, Prakshit, very good. Sanveer, Rajput, very good. So yes, A is the anterior border. अब मुझे clearly तुम लोगों को पता चल गया इसका आंसर भी. चलो, it's very clear कि अगर A anterior border की तरफ आ रहा है तो ये वाला जो मसल होगा सर, वो तो हो गया deltoid मसल, और नीचे वाला जो है, so that will be the trapezius muscle. That will be the trapezius muscle. Okay, that will be the trapezius muscle. So you can very well see that will be the trapezius muscle, because you can very well appreciate कि A वाला तो border हो गया, that is the anterior border, और ये posterior border हो गया. Okay, now guys, in between there is a ligament, और लिगामेंट का नाम मैंने आपको बता दिया. उसको हम लोग नाम देते हैं कोराकोक्लेविकुलर लिगामेंट. ये वाला जो लिगामेंट है, सो दैट इज द नेम, दैट इज द कोराकोक्लेविकुलर लिगामेंट. Coraco-clavicular ligament, and that too on the inferior surface. You can see the presence of this particular ligament. Everyone is right. Anmol, very good. Nivedi, very good. Nidhi, very good. Yeah, that is the coracoclavicular ligament. Yes, very good. Coracoclavicular ligament. Now guys, superior view में इस वाले मसल का नाम क्या होगा? That is the A and that is the B. अब मुझे बता दो सुपीरियर व्यू में विच मसल्स इट विल बी, एंड दैट विल गिव मी एन ओरिएंटेशन दैट यू ऑल अंडरस्टूड द व्यू एंड द लोकेशन ऑफ द मसल्स वेरी वेल. इफ यू आर गिविंग मी द आंसर्स राइट नाउ दैट ए और बी इन द सुपीरियर व्यू इज अटैचमेंट ऑफ विच पर्टिकुलर मसल्स, कौन सा बॉर्डर है ये, कौन सा बॉर्डर है, and which muscles are actually attached over here. So that will be like a piece of cake for you guys that you all understood all the concepts that we discussed. A will be the deltoid one. Very good guys. Superior view है, superior view में आगे की तरफ वाला हिस्सा तो anterior हो गया, so that will be the deltoid one. और पीछे की तरफ क्या हो जाएगा, ट्रेपीसियस. पीछे की तरफ क्या हो जाएगा, ट्रेपीसियस. और इंफीरियर व्यू में तो ये होता ही होता है. सो that was like a lit. You guys are just rocking everyone. Yes, very good, very good. Prakshit, Neha, very good. Yeah, DJ, very good. I was actually avoiding to take the name as DJ, but you okay. Junaid, very good, very good. Dinesh Chaudhary, very good, very good guys. Like I'm too happy that you all are participating. And live class is very like I want everyone to attend, but since like I don't know why students are not participating that much. Okay, but anyways, okay. Now guys, everyone can see one more thing over here, that is the subclavian groove that is located in the middle of the shaft. Okay, you can see a presence of a subclavian groove that is located in the middle of the shaft in the inferior surface. Inferior surface, just write down, we have subclavian groove just below the clavicle, just below the clavicle, just below the clavicle. That is the subclavian groove. And remember that it contains the insertion of a muscle that is called as the subclavius muscle. That is called as the subclavius muscle. Okay, so there is a subclavian groove and it is just in the middle of the shaft. It is just in the middle of the shaft on the inferior surface. We have a subclavian groove that is the insertion of a muscle that is the subclavius muscle. Okay, thank you DJ, okay, for your words. Anyways, coming on to the next part guys. So yeah, everything is done, all the muscles are done, ligaments are done. So yeah, muscles and ligaments attachment. So now the questions for you guys. So can anyone tell me the name of the ligament over here, A, B and C? I want the answers for A, B and C part. Questions for you guys. Questions for you guys. What is A, B and C? I'm waiting for your answers. Yes. I'm waiting guys. Just let me एक्रोमियल नहीं होगा, कोरैको क्लैविकुलर. देखो ये अगर कोराकॉइड प्रोसेस है स्कैपुला का, देखो ये स्कैपुला बोन है, ये स्कैपुला बोन है, दैट्स व्हाई आई इंसर्टेड दिस इमेज. कोराकॉइड प्रोसेस है और इससे भी लिगामेंट निकल रही है, तो इन टर्न हम लोग इसको पूरे को नट शेल को हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, कोरैको क्लैविकुलर लिगामेंट. यस, वेरी गुड गाइस. जुनैद, रसब, या वेरी गुड. दिनेश, वेरी गुड. अनमोल, ओके. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट जो सी वाला है, दैट इज द कोस्टो क्लैविकुलर लिगामेंट. ध्यान से देखना, ये कोस्टल रिब है, ये कोस्टल रिब है और ये इंफीरियर सरफेस है मीडियल टू थर्ड शाफ्ट का. ये इंफीरियर सरफेस है जो आप देख रहे हो अभी, और यहीं पर इंफीरियर सरफेस पे कोस्टो क्लैविकुलर लिगामेंट इज अटैच्ड. कॉस्टो या सी पार्ट इज कॉस्टो क्लैविकुलर ligament. Yes guys, yes guys, costo clavicular ligament. So yes, so everyone can appreciate now. I just wanted to like ask which muscle is attached over here if suppose this is the superior view of the clavicle. If suppose this is the superior view of the clavicle, which is the muscle attached over here as A? So I'm just waiting for your answers. Good. Junaid, good. Sternomastoid, yes. यार ये देखो ना, ये तो 2/3 क्लैविकल हो गया ना. 2/3 क्लैविकल का ऊपर वाला पार्ट सुपीरियर व्यू में दैट इज द अपवर्ड्स पार्ट. और यू कैन वेरी वेल अप्रिशिएट कि यहाँ पे जो मसल अटैच्ड होगा दैट विल बी द स्टर्नोक्लीडोमेस्टॉइड मसल. यस, स्टर्नोक्लीडोमेस्टॉइड. वेरी गुड एवरीवन, वेरी गुड. कमल, जुनैद, वेरी गुड नेहा, वेरी गुड. दैट विल बी द स्टर्नोक्लीडोमेस्टॉइड मसल. चलो, now guys, how to learn the origin and insertion of the muscles. Okay, but before that, let us now first understand the trick how to remember the muscles. तुम्हें दिल से प्यार हम करते हैं. So that is the trick. You will actually learn all the muscles of the clavicle in just one single slide, in just 1 minute. Okay, so you already know that we have the trapezius muscle. Write down the complete names. Trapezius muscle. We have the deltoid muscle. We have S से 3 मसल्स हैं. तीनों मसल्स के नाम आपको याद होने चाहिए. स्टर्नो क्लीडो मेस्टॉइड मसल, स्टर्नो हायोइड मसल एंड सबक्लेवियस muscle. I have philosophy class, I'll came later. Okay, no issues. Subclavius muscle. Now coming on to the P basically it is, और प्यार, just make it as प्यार मैं करता हूँ. Okay, so just make it as प्यार मैं करता हूँ. So it will be easy. So प्यार में basically it will be one muscle, that is the pectoralis major muscle. Okay, and करता हूँ तो ये तो false allegations है ना, तो करता तो हूँ नहीं किसी से, तो it's just तुम्हें दिल से प्यार मैं करता हूँ. वो लाइन कंप्लीट करने के लिए लगा दी. अदरवाइज ऑल द मसल्स आर डन कि सर अब तो ये याद हो गया. अब इसका ऑरिजिन और इंसर्शन देखते हैं. ऑरिजिन का मतलब होता है कि उस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट से वो ऑरिजिनेट कर रही है, वो निकल रही है, वहाँ से उसका ऑरिजिन हो रहा है, वहाँ से उसका बर्थ हो रहा है. ओके, और इंसर्शन वो है कि वो मसल कहीं और से ऑरिजिनेट करती है बट उस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट पर जाकर इंसर्ट कर रही है. तो अब हमें ये कैसे याद करेंगे कि ये वहाँ से ऑरिजिनेट कर रही है या वो वहाँ पे जाके इंसर्ट कर रही है. तो उसके भी ट्रिक्स है. हाउ टू रिमेंबर द ट्रिक्स, यू कैन इजीली सी ओवर हियर गाइस, कि ध्यान से देखो ट्रेपीजियस. अब हम ट्रेपीजियस जब लिखते हैं तो यू कैन वेरी वेल सी द फर्स्ट लेटर, इट इज टी. द फर्स्ट लेटर इट इज टी, एंड इस टी के नीचे में एक लाइन और लगा दूं, इट विल बिकम आई. सो ट्रेपीजियस इज एन इंसर्शन टू द क्लैविकल. Trapezius is an insertion to the clavicle, and that is the point that I was discussing with you guys. Trapezius is the insertion to the clavicle. Yes guys, हंसो हंसो और अब पढ़ भी लो साथ में, ठीक है. चलो anyways, trapezius T के नीचे बस एक लाइन और लगा दी तो ये I बन गया, I से इंसर्शन. गुड सर. डेल्टॉइड कैसे याद करें? डेल्टॉइड में गाइस ध्यान रखो कि पहला लेटर क्या है डेल्टॉइड का? D. इस D को जस्ट रोटेट इट लाइक दिस, O बन जाएगा. तो डेल्टॉइड इज द ऑरिजिनेटिंग मसल. डेल्टॉइड इज द ऑरिजिनेटिंग मसल. सो D को ही आप O बना सकते हो. वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. ध्यान रखो अब स्टर्नोक्लीडोमेस्टॉइड, हायोइड और सबक्लेवियस. अब ध्यान से देखो, स्टर्नो में एक O, दो O, तीन O आ रहे हैं और आई कितने आ रहे हैं? एक और दो. तो O ज्यादा है स्टर्नोक्लीडोमेस्टॉइड में, तो स्टर्नोक्लीडोमेस्टॉइड विल बी द ओरिजिनेटिंग मसल. इट विल बी द ओरिजिनेटिंग मसल, ओरिजिन होगा. स्टर्नोहायोइड में O ज्यादा आ रहे हैं, सो अल्टीमेटली इट विल बी ऑल्सो द ओरिजिनेटिंग मसल. इट विल बी ऑल्सो द ओरिजिनेटिंग मसल एज कंपेयर टू आई. O ज्यादा आ रहा है तो स्टर्नोहायोइड, स्टर्नो O आ रहा है ना, तो वैसे भी याद रखो कि स्टर्नो O मीन्स ओरिजिन. सब क्लेवियस में O तो आता ही नहीं सर, I आता है, तो इट इज द इंसर्शन गाइस. इट इज द इंसर्शन. और अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट पेक्टोरालिस, पेक्टो O आ रहा है. सो अगेन यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, O वैसे भी दो बार है, मेजर भी है ना, पेक्टोरालिस मेजर, I से ज्यादा तो हो रहा है. इट इज द ओरिजिन. इट इज द ओरिजिन. इट इज द ओरिजिन. पेक्टोरालिस, स्टर्नो वाली जितनी मसल से ओरिजिन. सब क्लेवियस O आता ही नहीं, I है, इंसर्शन हो गया. पेक्टोरालिस मेजर, पेक्टो से भी याद आ जाएगा, O है, ओरिजिन होगा. बट नहीं है तो पेक्टोरालिस में O दो ही बार है और I एक बार है. सो अल्टीमेटली इट इज द ओरिजिन. सो सारी मसल्स और सारी ओरिजिन इंसर्शन एक स्लाइड में 1 मिनट के अंदर सबको याद हो गए. I hope everyone understood, everyone learned all the muscles in one go. Just give me a thumbs up that everything is clear, sir, as of now. Yeah, everything is clear. अभी हम सिर्फ muscles की बात कर रहे हैं. Yeah, I'm just waiting for your answers, guys. I'm waiting for your answers. Yeah, Dinesh says yes. Rasab, very good. Junaid, crystal clear. Okay. Usma, DJ, Neha, Hansi, very good. Very good guys. I'm very impressed. Nahid, Kamal, very good. Very good guys. एक स्लाइड में सारे मसल, सारे ऑरिजिन इंसर्शन याद, इससे आसान क्या लोग हैं, मतलब इसमें सब हो गया आप लोग का. यस, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड गाइस. सो दैट इज द पॉइंट दैट आई वांटेड टू डिस्कस. मज़ा आ गया. हाँ, मज़े देने के लिए ही हूँ मैं. सो या क्योंकि लाइव क्लास है इसलिए हम आपत्तिजनक बात नहीं करेंगे. विल जस्ट कंसंट्रेट ऑन द लिगामेंट्स नाउ. ओके, क्रिस्टल क्लियर सर. वेरी गुड गाइस. आई मीन whosoever are participating, you will not regret after completion of this class कि हमने अपना टाइम वेस्ट नहीं किया सर. हमने आज कुछ सीख कर रहे हैं, बहुत से कंसेप्ट, बहुत सी चीज़ें इजीली क्लियर हो गई. क्लैविकल इतने डिटेल में कोई नहीं पढ़ाएगा. और लाइक या सो कमिंग ऑन टू द आर्टिकुलेशन. लिगामेंट्स तो तुम लोगों को पता ही है, मैंने बता ही दिए हैं. चलो फिर लिगामेंट्स. ओके, but before that just now understand the articulations of the clavicle. And you all know that we have two articulations, one at the lateral end, one at the lateral end, and one at the medial end. Okay, medial end also called as the sternal end. Okay, so you already know that it articulates with the clavicular notch of the manubrium sternum. Manubrium sterni. And that is why it is called as the sternoclavicular joint. पहले ही बात हो चुकी है, बस अभी पॉइंट्स नोट्स में लिखने हैं. Sternoclavicular joint. Lateral end, you can everyone see it is the acromial end. It is the acromial end, and it articulates with the acromion process of the scapula. Acromion process of the scapula. Nitin, you have already. Nitin, yeah, sure, I'll share my contact number if you are not that Nitin which I'm thinking of. Okay, sure, at the last. Articulates with the acromion process of the scapula. And remember, it will lead to a formation of a joint that is called as the acromioclavicular joint. हाँ, वो अभी क्लिनिकल एनाटॉमी में डिस्कस करेंगे अमजद. डोंट वरी. अभी हम पहले टॉपिक वाइज चलेंगे, क्लिनिकल एनाटॉमी भी पढ़ेंगे. डोंट वरी. एक्रोमियोक्लैविकुलर जॉइंट, सारे पॉइंट्स पेक्युलैरिटीज पढ़नी है अभी यार, ठीक है. Acromioclavicular joint, okay, so that is about the sternoclavicular joint and the acromioclavicular joint, okay. एक चीज मैं आप लोगों को बताना भूल गया कि अब सपोज ये कौन सी क्लैविकल ले लो, ये सपोज दिस इज द, हाँ, दिस विल बी द राइट क्लैविकल, एंड अब सपोज एक क्लैविकल यहाँ पे होगी, ठीक है, एक क्लैविकल यहाँ पे होगी, ठीक है. सो दो क्लैविकल बिटवीन द राइट एंड द लेफ्ट क्लैविकल, these two are also interconnected via ligament. These two are also interconnected via ligament, और इसको हम लोग interclavicular ligament बोलते हैं. इसको हम लोग interclavicular ligament बोलते हैं. And remember that interclavicular ligament is the one which connects the right and the left clavicle together, and it is the only connection between the two, okay, write down, it is the only connection between the bones of the right and left upper limb. Right and left upper limb. It is the only connection between the bones of the right and left upper limb. ये वही कनेक्शन है, सिर्फ ये अपर लिम्ब वाला पार्ट यहाँ से, अपर लिम्ब वाला पार्ट यहाँ से, राइट और लेफ्ट. और जो ये लिगामेंट है, दैट इज द इंटरक्लैविकुलर लिगामेंट. इट इज एक्चुअली जॉइनिंग द टू क्लैविकल्स टुगेदर. ओके, इंटर का मतलब क्या होता है, बीच में, दोनों क्लैविकल को ज्वाइन करने वाला. दैट इज व्हाई बाय द नेम इट इज द इंटरक्लैविकुलर लिगामेंट. Interclavicular ligament. Apart from that, guys, if we just try to focus on the functions of the clavicle, you guys already know that it transmits the weight and forces from the upper limb to the axial skeleton. It transmits the weight and forces from the upper limb to the axial skeleton. You know that the upper limb, basically the humerus bone, the radius, the ulna, okay, the hands, the hand bones, carpals, metacarpals and phalanges. The carpals, metacarpals and phalanges, you already know all this. And you know, at the back side we have the scapula bone, and in the front we have the clavicle. In front we have the clavicle, and in the middle we have the manubrium sternum, that is the sternum bone. And remember that all the bones which are aligned along the midline or the mid axis of the body, this is the axial skeleton. So everyone can appreciate कि upper limb का सारा force, all the force from the upper limb, it is transferred via clavicle to the midline of the body, that is the axial skeleton. That is the axial skeleton. That is the axial skeleton. So all the forces from the upper limb from the humerus radius ulna, from the scapula, also the forces are transmitted via clavicle to the midline of the body, to the axial skeleton of the body, and that is the function that is performed by the clavicle. It is actually acting like a bridge. Okay, it is actually acting like a bridge to transmit all the forces from the upper limb to the axial skeleton. Apart from that, guys, yeah, let us now understand the peculiarities of the clavicle. Now we'll try to understand the peculiarities of the clavicle as well. So remember, it is the only long bone that lies horizontally. It is subcutaneous throughout. Okay, it is the first bone to start membranous ossification. Okay, remember, the ossification basically starts or begins. Ossification begins during 5th and 6th week of intrauterine life. Okay, when the baby is inside the womb of a mother, okay, just in the 5th and 6th week of intrauterine life, the ossification will start. Intrauterine life, IUL. Okay, remember that we have two primary centers for ossification. That is the important points that we are discussing. Two primary centers of ossification. We have primary centers and the secondary centers through which the ossification, the process of bone formation, takes place. So we have two primary centers of ossification, and remember, it is the fusion of these centers take place on 45th day of intrauterine life. 45th day of intrauterine life. Apart from that, guys, remember the secondary center, okay, it is located at sternal end. So you know that suppose this is the clavicle, and you guys already know that we have two primary centers, and these two primary centers are located in the shaft region, and they fuse together on 45th day of intrauterine life, and one secondary center is basically located at the sternal end. So secondary center at sternal end, at sternal end, and remember, it is basically around 19 to 20 years. Okay, basically it fuses. Okay, and no, it is actually the 19 to 20 years. Basically the secondary center is formed, and at fusion occurs like in 25 years. Okay, 25th year. And remember, it is comparatively 2 years earlier in female. 2 years earlier in female. Okay, remember that this particular bone does not contain any medullary cavity. It's actually like a means some book says it contains, some book says it doesn't contain. So we'll go by the word that it does not contain any medullary cavity. Okay. Okay. And apart from that, you should know that the most common site of fracture, this is the sign of the fracture. बार बार fracture नहीं लिखना है. Even in prescription, that is the way to denote a fracture. It is at junction of medial two-third. ये अपडेट करना है नीचे नोट्स में. दिस इज द अपडेट दैट यू हैव टू डू. Medial two-third and lateral one-third. It is the most common site of the fracture. Okay, it is the most common site of the fracture. And one more thing that you have to remember, that if clavicle is absent since birth, okay, since birth it is absent, or it is, we can say, congenitally absent, the formation didn't take place. And I'm answering your question right now, why, if it is not there since starting, it's not formed, that particular situation, it is called as cleidocranial dystosis. And yes, means the clavicle is absent in the person. And of course it's the beauty, or it's the beauty of the, like, it's the beauty of the person, just arises due to this this particular bone. And that is why, if it is absent since birth, it will lead to cleidocranial dystosis. Yes. Shoulder drop sign is seen over here. Basically the shoulders will be dropped. Okay, the upper limb, basically the weight wouldn't be able to transfer to the axial skeleton, and that's why the shoulder drop is seen. Yes, TJ. Yes. Apart from that, guys, the fracture, the clavicle absent, okay, the clinical conditions are seen as of now. And try to remember one more part, that we have two differences between the male and the female clavicle. See, the male clavicle, it is basically longer, thicker and more curved. Okay, it is shorter, thinner, smoother and less curved. Okay, remember, that is just, I wanted to discuss the clavicle, the difference between the clavicle of the male and the female. And it is just due to the nutrient foramen. Guys, I wanted to know from your knowledge, where will be the nutrient foramen present. Actually, I have already discussed this in the structure of the bone. I hope if you have studied, you might be know where the nutrient foramen is present on which part of the bone, and same goes with the long bones as well. Okay, so that is the end of today's lecture, guys. I hope everyone understood, everyone enjoyed the session today, everyone learned all the concepts that we discussed today. Just give me a thumbs up that you all learned everything along with me today, all the parts, everything, the muscle, ligaments, attachments, the borders, the surfaces, the ends, ligaments, joints, everything. Kamal, DJ, very good, guys. Very good, guys. Junaid, very good. All the parts are discussed today. Parts, origin, insertion, all the muscles. I have given you certain mnemonics. Okay, peculiarities, male and female clavicle. Just a simple difference that I wanted you to learn, guys. Dinesh, very good. Kapil, very good. Yes, Junaid. Okay, Kamal, Umza, very good. Rasab, very good. Thank you for your patience, your listening me out for so long. I mean, it's already more than an hour, I suppose. So we'll end the session over here, and thank you for waiting and listening me out. Okay. Okay guys, I'll just end the session. Yeah, I'll forward the, if you want, I'll just yeah, I'll just give you my number as well. If you have any doubts, you can just let me know. Yeah, you can like write down my number as well. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can just text me on my number. Yeah, that is my personal number. Any doubts, you can just directly ping me on WhatsApp. I'll be happier to answer all your queries. Okay, so we'll just end, I'll end the lecture today. Yeah.